People's socks can't be on cameras, in my opinion, either.
Oh, right. Hey, this is not...
You can't have your socks on camera.
You're a bit pro at this, aren't you?
This is a real studio.
Friggin' hell.
This is my office, technically.
Oh my god, I'm like... I am like... God, he's got his shit together and everything. He's like... Of course you have.
Well, I appreciate the compliment, thank you.
Of course you have, because you're a professional.
Your microphone is going to be just next to you there, if you see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, I don't... Well, yeah, okay. Like friggin' Krypton Factor.
Here we go.
Innit?
We're mic'd up and ready.
Aye, something like that, love.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
How are you today?
I'm good.
You look nicely tanned, you know.
Do you know this is from my summer?
Yeah. It's been a mediocre summer, in my opinion, in England.
It's been
What
a
do you
fab
think?
summer, I don't know what you're on about.
In terms of weather?
It don't matter about the weather.
Oh, well, okay.
We live in Britain.
Well, okay. So I'm glad to hear you've had a fabulous summer. I
I've
was
had a
referring
great summer.
only to the weather.
Yeah, no, I've had a great summer, weather and all.
What's been so great about your summer then?
Spending really good quality time with loved ones,
Yes.
focusing on goals,
Amazing.
having a lovely holiday
Yeah.
with family, and making the most out of what would have been a really bad, could have been a really bad situation. But it's been great. I've loved this summer.
You mean COVID and lockdowns overall, etc., do you?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you got to spend some nice time with your husband, actually, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I did.
Yeah.
For the first time in a long time, we lived together.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because
was nice.
he usually works away, right, doesn't
He
he?
usually works away.
Yeah.
So 1 day a week usually.
One day a week he's at home.
Yeah.
Oh my lord, that's got to be... Is that tough?
No, it's only tough. It's only tough if you allow it to be tough. It's all right. It's doable.
Okay. But was it a good time?
I had a lovely time.
Oh, that's so nice.
I had a lovely time. It was great.
That is so nice.
It was great. It was a great summer.
Congratulations on your big achievement this summer as well,
Yes.
of running the Great North Run.
I ran the Great North Run. Me.
I can see your tattoo of commemoration
I
right
forgot
there
my
in your
medal
wrist.
though.
You're going to bring your medal?
I forgot my
so
medal.
Cute.
It's at work because I'm collecting my sponsor money.
Ooh.
Nearly £1,000.
Is it? Look
Yeah.
at you. Where's it going?
Macmillan. Cancer care.
Very nice.
So,
Absolutely amazing.
a year of firsts. First half marathon. First tattoo.
I was just going to ask if it's your first tattoo or
It
not.
is,
Yes.
yeah.
Did it hurt?
It was...
Did you use numbing cream?
No.
I always use numbing cream. Always.
Yeah.
And it still hurts too much. For me, I don't like it.
No.
You just toughed it out.
Toughed it out. Tough old bird.
What a change you've made.
It's
Hey,
been a huge...
can you believe you ran a half marathon?
No, even now it's like surreal. It's like something that... It's something other people do.
Yeah.
Runners do.
Yeah.
Other people...
You don't class yourself as a runner
No, it's like, it's bizarre because out of everybody, and my friends will tell you this, and people I've worked with, I would be the least likely person to run,
Yeah.
let alone a half marathon.
Well, how long ago was it that we met now?
4 years this December.
Oh, look at you knowing the date.
I do.
Oh.
22nd of December.
Oh, happy birthday
4
to us.
years ago.
Oh.
And our second meeting was the 24th of December.
Hey, Christmas Eve.
Hmm.
Lovely. Lovely. I do remember we had 2 meetings, yes.
I was
And
terrified.
the reason I asked that, we'll talk about that in a moment.
Yeah.
The reason I asked that though is because I distinctly remember in one of those 2 meetings at the beginning, you saying that you would never exercise.
Never exercise.
You specifically said to me, I will never exercise.
I won't go to the gym.
Now you
I
exercise
don't-
like 4 times a week.
No, I'm terrible. I know,
No, you're
I'm a
excellent,
liar.
not terrible.
I'm a big fat liar.
No, you're just a different person now.
I am.
Back then, you weren't somebody that was ever going to exercise, but now you're not the same
Didn't
person.
enjoy... I think what it came from for me, and I spoke to this with a friend actually, exercise was never pleasurable for me. Dating back from school. Hated it. Absolutely loved the feeling that it gave me of being out of breath, not able to move nicely, just awful. Hated it. PE at school, awful. And I think it just comes from that. You just don't get pleasure from it, so you just have no interest in it. And at the time of meeting you, the only focus I had was not being fat anymore. And that was it.
I seem to remember that your first goals that we were speaking about were weight management and also health improvement in general, just like health and weight loss goals.
Just wanted to feel better.
Yeah. Why?
I just wanted to feel better in myself.
Yeah. So how were you feeling at that time?
I didn't go to my Christmas party that year. I had no interest in going out socially.
You mean a work Christmas
party?
A work
Christmas party. Yeah. Didn't want to go out socially. If somebody said to me, we've got a family wedding or a christening, or would fill me with dread because I would have to go out and wear something. I felt so uncomfortable in everything that I wore.
Did you?
Dreaded buying new things. Really kind of just wasn't interested in making the most out of life at the time. It was really kind of, I think when you're overweight, you feel I was very stuck as well, because I knew I desperately wanted to lose the weight and I couldn't. I was with Slimming World and I couldn't. I was really obese, wasn't moving very well, had severe chronic back pain from the back condition that I had. So walking any kind of distance was really quite difficult. It's like you'd avoid buying shoes with laces because you knew that bending over to tie them would cause reflux into your mouth.
Reflux?
Yeah. So
really?
You know the photo that you posted
Why?
me on?
Because you're bending over?
Yeah.
Wow, really?
So you know the photo of you that you posted of me sat on Skegness front?
I do.
So that used to be my go-to wear. So Birkenstocks are on my feet, white Birkenstocks, because they slob on. Because the jeans, although they were a hefty size, if you bent over, you'd be cut in two.
Yeah.
And basically you'd be, if you'd had a drink or if you'd had something to eat and your stomach were full, it sounds revolting, but it's true. I'm not going to lie, it's true. There'd be times you'd think, please stay down. Because of the force of the pressure of bending over with tight clothing on to do your shoes up. How bad's that?
Yeah, because in talking about your weight loss, how much weight have you lost total? Is it?
It's around 17 kilograms. I don't work in the stone anymore.
Okay.
I don't work in.
Let's do a
It's really
conversion
strange
then.
because with Slimming World, I was obsessed with the pounds and ounces.
Okay.
And it's really strange now because when you first join, you're obsessed with the numbers.
2.7 stone.
Is it?
Yeah. Because I was going to say, because you were...
I had lost originally 3.
Yes.
But some of that, and I was just about to say, when you first join, you're obsessed with the numbers and the fluctuations, and now when you always say the numbers don't matter, and they don't, and to be honest, a lot of people say, have you lost more weight? And I'm like, I don't actually know, but I do for this because I was tracking obviously
Yes.
from a half marathon.
Yes.
And I'd lost an additional 4.
Yes.
But day to day, the number actually, it's completely irrelevant.
Good, that's a nice switch.
Do you understand?
Of course.
It's like you spend so long, and I mean, I was with Slimming World for nearly over 12 years, backwards and forwards, getting nowhere. I've been with you 4 years and slim for 4 years. Without any worry about the natural fluctuations
Good.
of weight loss and weight gain.
Why do you think that is?
Because of my understanding,
Okay.
the understanding of, 1, the process, 2, the body, the biology basically, that weight and fat aren't the same. The kind of understanding of how fat loss works, and And it's just like everybody's the same. Everybody's the same. Do you understand what I mean? Everybody
course.
feels the same, especially when they first join. Everybody feels the same, and then you get so much support and help and understanding if just to kind of reaffirm some of the things that you're learning from the lectures. You know, you keep going, keep getting told the same thing, and start sinking in.
Absolutely, yeah. The reason I asked about how much weight you lost was I knew it wasn't a crazy amount. Like when you refer to how you were in the past and you say that you were overweight, you were overweight a little bit. Like you did have some weight to lose.
Oh, I did.
But you weren't the most overweight person like ever.
No, but I was 5'2". I'm 5'2".
5'2", yeah.
And I was a good size 18, nearly a 20.
Okay, yeah.
And when I came to see you, I stepped on the scales but wouldn't look. And I knew that I was touching 13 stone. Now, that's not the heaviest I've been. I've actually been around 15 previously. But I had lost some weight with Slimming World.
Yes.
Put most of it back on. So by the time I came to see you, I was already a stone less.
That's good.
Than what
That's
I was.
good.
But it took 2 years for that stone to go.
Yes.
With
Using
you,
Slimming World's methods.
Yes.
Okay.
But with you, it literally took 6 months.
You tried really hard though and did your best, so you're excellent. Well done. You did.
You only have to try your best. I
That's all you
tried
can ever
and I
do.
did.
Yeah, yeah.
It's because
you
I
did.
wanted it. I wanted it. I didn't want to feel that way anymore.
Yeah, because what I was referring to with your weight was the amount of weight you had and lost is not unimaginable. It's not like losing 10 or 15 stone or anything, but the amount of health issues that you were experiencing was quite drastic compared to the weight, wasn't it? Like you weren't the most overweight person ever, but you were feeling it quite a lot mentally and physically, weren't you?
I did, completely.
You were not in the best place mentally or physically in terms of feeling, were you? Despite the weight, like you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say?
People say you carry, when they say you carry it well. Oh, you were never that big.
Yeah.
You were never that fat.
Yeah.
People don't remember me being that fat.
Yeah.
But I remember that feeling.
Yeah.
I remember loathing the way that I felt, being so unbelievably miserable.
I remember you were upset when you first came to talk to me about it.
I was, because I was so desperate to be slim.
Yes.
And I knew Slimming World wasn't working. But then what was the other option? Because calorie counting for me would have been a no-no.
Okay.
Tracking calories or kind of anything to relate that would restrict the eating was kind of scary.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people have been successful on Slimming World and they will have lost some weight. I'm not saying that they haven't. Some will have gained it and more. Some will have kept it off.
True.
But a lot of people will say about Slimming World is that they're probably more successful with it when it was the green and original days.
The red and green days.
Yeah.
Yeah, people do
Because
say sometimes
then,
they prefer.
They changed it to this free food.
Yeah.
Now, if you're wired like me,
Yeah.
well, hey, let's just have a party with the pasta.
Well, that's the main selling point of the entire thing, isn't it?
Innit?
It's to preach unlimited, like no restriction.
But then the small print,
Yeah.
portion control.
Yeah.
Well, who's going to read? I'm a naturally greedy person.
Yeah.
I will always have that extra spoon of whatever is being served. I will always continue eating, I used to, before. And the thought of being hungry scared me. The evening meal was more important, still is, because if I didn't have that uncomfortable full feeling,
Yeah.
I was going to be hungry later. And so you've got to eat to get that really horrible, tight, full feeling.
But you've also mentioned a few times in the past that you, and I feel like this also, would also derive pleasure from the overly full feeling.
It was a
And
high.
I also like that sometimes.
A high. Absolute high.
I also think it's the same. Yeah,
The
I agree
eating,
sometimes.
it's the...
Sometimes I like to eat until I'm stuffed. It's
But
fun
do you know,
sometimes.
it's not like that now. It's
No?
really, it's truly not. It's truly not. You know, I know when I've overeaten. I know that uncomfortable feeling, and I think, you know, I know I've overeaten, and I actually don't like that feeling. I still chase sometimes the food high.
Yeah.
So I sometimes will decide that I will have the pleasure foods
You'll indulge, yeah.
that will light up my little brain
Yes,
cells
yes.
like that. And but I also know, like, if I'm going for a meal, especially with my other half, when I'm full, if I say I need this taken away now, this is my tactic for not carrying on picking.
Okay, yeah.
So I have you know, if I say I need this to go now, and that's it. That's me done. Because
Is this at home or when you're out at a restaurant?
out
When you're out, yeah.
when I'm out,
Yeah,
out and at home, depending on what food is made.
yeah.
At home, sometimes if it's those really kind of pleasurable foods like the pasta and the bread and, you know, things like that give you that, ooh, you know, that you have to keep going at. Because if they're left on the table, there could be half a dish left, but by the end of the night it will be gone.
Yeah.
And I know that I don't want to do that. So I say, take it, please take it. That's my mechanism for trying to control that overindulgence.
Limit the portions, limit the overeating.
Yeah, but
It's
without
very
restricting
smart.
myself.
It's very smart what you do.
I go out and eat.
Yeah.
I have a nice time. I don't restrict myself. I think it's so important, some of the lessons that I've learned, it really is that the fact that you can have anything you want, like you say, there's always a next time. You can only eat one thing off the menu, off the mains, you could eat more, but you're not going to. There's always going to be another time. You know, when you look at a menu and you think, I want that,
Yeah,
that,
of course
that, and
you do.
that,
But
and
you
that.
can't.
But you can't.
No, you can't.
And you think, oh, but I really wanted that as well.
Yeah, this is like when people say they have like fear of missing out. These days, people say it's FOMO.
But it's
They're
gone.
Like, you always miss out, don't you?
Yes.
It doesn't matter if you go to one takeaway, or it doesn't matter what you order from the takeaway. There's still 3 things you didn't order, or 10 things you didn't order.
No.
You can always never have it all.
And I think that's a big turning point in the mindset stuff's just, it's been changed. It's completely changed. 4 years on, I'm still slim because of that. Do you understand? This has never happened to me before.
Yeah, it's little perspective switches on food, and also what I really liked what you described there about your practical tactics and tools for limiting the overeating, like when you're out at the restaurants. What you've just done there is you've described the actual essence of mindful eating. You know how it's obviously the 6 steps to slim, our program. First step, yes, it involves calories and calorie counting, but it's called mindful eating, isn't it? Because what we do first is assess why there's too many calories coming into the diet and
Oh,
where.
I found that out in the first 3 days.
I know you did.
Oh, that was horrible.
And then we have to try and we have to start coming up with tactics and tools and switches to try and get in the way of that and make changes so that the calories aren't getting out of control. And what you've done there is recognise this is mindful eating. Oh, if there's food on the table, I'm just going to pick at it. And that's not you. That's most people.
Oh, yeah.
Most people would do the exact same. It's not on you that you do that. I would also do that. Then you've created a little tool and a little mindful situation of, you know...
It's the same when I'm feeling upset or stressed. You know, I can't actually... Or if I have, it's been very rarely that I've actually eaten the emotions.
Yes.
At one time, that would have been a huge thing. But again, it's that mindset that I've kind of... I guess I was really needing it because otherwise it wouldn't have stuck. That's what I was needing. And I knew deep down that's what I was needing. Because... otherwise, it wouldn't have worked for me. Now, it takes a lot of practice, don't it? You know, it does take...
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I get it right all of the time.
No, definitely
I
not.
don't. There are learns, but I'm not as critical on myself as I used to be about it.
Yeah.
I don't kind of feel guilty about eating.
Good.
Don't feel guilty that there is no cheat days, there's no treat days, there's no bad food, there's no good food. There's food, and I eat. And I can choose whether I have more or less. Or I have higher calorie foods that are lower quality.
Yes.
or I can have really good quality that are lower calories.
Yes.
Depending
And
on
every blend in between.
everything in between.
And sometimes both on the same day.
That suit the way I'm feeling on the particular day, or my goals.
Yeah.
Like with my half marathon goals, it was all about the food. It was all about the good, nutritious food.
Yeah.
High quality protein foods. And since then, I've had some good crap quality foods that have been needed. The rewards come afterwards.
Yeah. Indulge a little bit, create balance.
So it's, but the learning's been the freedom that I've had from the program, the food freedom. It's just been, you know, I'm not frightened to be hungry anymore. I'm not, you know, I don't panic that, oh, it's dinner time and I should be eating now. Why aren't I eating now? You know, if I'm not hungry, I've learnt to eat to fuel my body, but also satisfy some cravings that you can have at the time, you know. I've never felt like I've been dieting, as it were.
Well, that's good.
Do you know what I mean? At first, because you come from that dieter's mindset, you come from a really programmed way of thinking about getting weighed once a week, and you've been bad or you've been good or you've been on it or you've fallen off the wagon, or, you know, all these phrases that you pick up on and you kind of incorporate into your way of trying to lose weight. You come with those to you come with those set of your dieter's mind, and it takes time to lose those. But if you're open to it, it can happen. Does it make sense?
Of course it does, yeah.
I'm waffling terrible.
No, you're not. It makes perfect sense. You're just describing how you felt at the time and then how we made the changes, essentially. And you struggled to be open to it a little bit at first, didn't you? Like you said, you were not happy with talking to me about it, or talking to anybody about it, or the calorie thing, or assessing the food, or making the changes, or the portions.
I was going to be hungry and I didn't want to be hungry.
Do you remember that I made a video talking about hunger?
Yes.
And I said that I asked people to rate what they thought, how bad hunger was on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yes.
1 being not bad at all, 10 being absolutely torturous, hellish death.
Yes.
And I said maybe hunger's a 2 or 3.
Yes.
And you were appalled at this, weren't you? And I'm not talking
It
about
was like,
starvation, I'm talking
hunger's
about normal
nothing,
Western people hunger.
You were like so blasé about hunger, and yes.
Well, I don't know if I'm I don't know if I did this.
You're just
I don't know
like,
if I swayed left to right like you've just.
Hunger, blah. Blah. But yes, it didn't go down well with me, because I was a big lardy girl and you were a big little skinny bloke.
I understand.
Saying that hunger didn't matter.
Well, I was saying it's not that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
I'm saying it's not that bad.
No, it's not that bad.
But you at the time thought it was really bad. And this is a common thing. This is a common thing. People are scared of being hungry. This is normal.
Yeah.
This is normal.
Do you know what I think? As you know, the thing is as well, once you've overcome that fear and you just trust the science and what you're saying,
yeah,
there isn't nothing else you can't do.
Yeah.
There isn't.
Yeah.
There isn't nothing else. If you can master one of the hardest things, and it's hard,
yeah,
you have to commit yourself. You are going to do this for yourself because this is what I want to achieve. And even if you write out a list of pros and cons, to and for against fat loss, you know, that you have to decide if the pros are more worth to you the cons.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? With anything.
Yeah, with anything, really.
With anything.
Of course.
You know, what is the benefit of me doing this? Well, for me, it was easy.
Yeah.
You know, it was easy for me. And I knew that there was no point me signing up to the programme, learning the lessons, and not doing it, trusting you. I'd watched your videos for 3 months prior to joining.
I was going to ask, how did you hear about my programme?
It was a friend at Slimming World liked your video.
Okay, and it popped up on Facebook or something, did it?
Popped up on Facebook.
Okay, and then you were watching some videos for a
I
while.
watched some videos for 3 months.
Yeah, and then...
Not losing weight at Slimming World.
Okay.
Feeling completely miserable and deflated and failing at everything. And I was like, that makes sense. That makes sense. And you did some great videos on why you weren't losing weight on Slimming World back then. And it really kind of resonated. And then obviously the phrase that you usually use is you can have anything you want, not everything you want. And I just thought, shit. I've just been having everything that I want.
Yeah.
All of the time.
Yeah.
And I'm kidding myself that I'm dieting. Because if I want to diet, I'm going to have to reduce the food that I eat.
Especially if you're 5'2" like you and don't exercise.
No, exactly.
You can't really eat that
sedentary,
much.
Completely sedentary.
Not the best metabolism.
Not the
especially
best,
at that time.
Not at all.
Faster now, but...
Not at all. Terrible state. Terrible state.
So you couldn't really even get away with eating that much food really before it was too much, because too much
was too much. I know that now. Most definitely. The portion, what do they call it when it's, when it doesn't, portion distortion.
Oh, yes, okay.
And
Yes.
you kid yourself that you've got.
Yeah.
And now I actively look between my other half's portion and my portion, and I actively look to get more smaller, apart from the protein.
Good.
The rest of it
Yeah.
is I actually actively try and reduce the size of my portion compared to his.
Yeah.
Because if I've got the equivalent of his portion,
Yeah.
I know it's too much.
Yeah, and that's the thing that catches lots of men and women, husbands and wives, boyfriends and girlfriends out, where the male and the female, or even it doesn't have to be male or female, I'm just stereotyping here. It could be female or male relationship, because really it's not about the gender of the person, it's about the size of the person. But let's say most relationships are probably male-female relationships, and in most of these male-female relationships, the female is smaller in height and muscle mass than the male. These are just stereotypes, but on average. That means females, on average, in relationships have smaller metabolisms than the male. So if you eat the same, or a male and a female eats the same, it's the same amount of food is more for you proportionately than it is for your partner.
Yes.
So this is why women in relationships quite often become more overweight than the men, even though they're, and again, it could be a smaller guy and a taller guy, or a smaller female and a taller female. In a relationship, if one person's bigger than the other person, it doesn't matter about the gender. Again, it's just stereotypes. But
a lot of people, and I thought this when I joined you, wish I'd done it sooner. The regret of not doing it sooner. Like, you're peering off one of those really high diving boards and you're thinking, I know I've got to get off this thing, but I've got to jump to do it.
yeah,
And if you finally take the plunge and do that,
yes,
it's not half as bad as what you think.
Of course.
Once you've got past that looking over the edge,
yeah,
and you actually start doing it,
yeah.
it does get easier.
Well,
It
the
does
thought of
get.
it's way worse than the
awful,
actuality.
Absolutely awful. It's your brain trick, but tricks that your brain
It is.
plays with you.
Even just the meeting me and talking about it, that's hard for a lot of people.
It was, and I felt
Yeah.
very vulnerable as well.
Yeah.
I was, this was this guy off the internet.
Yeah,
Talking a lot of sense, and me kind of thinking, yes, this is right. Yes, I know this is right. Yes, I know this makes sense. But then thinking, actually, do I trust this guy with my vulnerabilities?
Yeah.
Do I trust this person with my vulnerabilities of being overweight? And then you meet the rest of the group and you think, wow, okay. I didn't need to be too scared. Because the group, the group that there is just, it's amazing. It's a really great
everyone's nice and
community.
supportive, aren't they?
You get a welcome from the first day. Anything that you need, you post it, because there's always somebody that's felt that way. Always. We may have got different backstories. We may have all tried different diets or the same diets, but we're all there. We all understand the feeling of desperately wanting to lose weight. And some of the lessons that we've already learned, or some of the advice that we can give, it's a really good relationship, you know. Fantastic, actually.
Thank you, and you're a big part of that as well, and it surprises me also. Because when I made the actual community group part of it, I didn't expect it to be as nice or good as it is.
No.
But everyone's just really nice.
I think it kind of left us to get on with it, and it's really nice with some guiding support there. I think you've got a group of nice people that understand what it's like to feel that way.
Yeah.
You know.
I know this is skipping back a bit in the conversation, but I really liked what you said earlier about pros and cons of losing weight as well. Because, you know, like you said, you could imagine weighing it up with, oh, it'll be, these are the pros and these are the cons. What do you think the cons are?
They're all in your mind.
Because I was going to say, I don't even know if
They're
there
all in
are
your
any.
mind.
There's only one con. You have to eat different.
Yeah, it's
You can
a
write down
fear.
one thing. I will have to eat some different foods. Other cons are...
I will be hungry. At the time,
You thought, yeah, okay, yeah.
I will be.
Yeah.
I will be restricted. These are all perceived, and again, fears.
I think it's important to talk about the hunger as well again, because like we were talking about hunger earlier, and we were talking about that video that I made.
It's really not. You know, when you talk about hunger, it's when you learn the hunger. It's not like, oh, you start the program and you're just hungry.
No, because if that happens, something's going wrong.
Ravenously hungry.
No.
It's not like that. The first couple of days are a shock to the system because you've been overeating, and now you're going to learn what you've been eating,
Yeah.
how you've been overeating,
Yeah.
and you're going to try and learn how to change that.
And any changes are a bit difficult.
And there
aren't they, no
has
matter
to
what?
be some hunger involved. You're going to have to feel some hunger sometime during the day, but then you learn about it being transitional. You learn the difference between boredom hunger and needing to feed hunger.
Yeah.
You know, that there is, you know, it's like I'm hungry now, but I know that I can wait until much later
I'm also hungry.
without thinking. I don't wake up in the morning now and think, what am I having at tea time?
Okay, yeah.
Or eat my dinner and think, what time am I going to eat at tea time?
Yes.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
And you know, you can kind of pass on another hour by keeping busy or, you know, occupying your mind, because if you eat too early, you might feel hungry later, but you don't really want to be kind of eating more food.
Yes.
To try and kind of keep that balance of what, over time,
Yes.
what you're consuming over the period of time.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I like the way you speak about hunger, because it's not that I advocate hunger or think hunger's great or anything, and I don't want people to be hungry. But at the end of the day, like you said, if you're overweight, it's because you're overeating. It's because there's too many calories going in. And then no matter what dieting process or program you use, whether it's any or none, if you just do it on your own, you have to reduce calories in from somewhere, don't
Yes,
you? On every
yeah.
diet.
Oh, yes.
So this involves reducing some food from somewhere. So then you are eating less than before, which is then indicative of hunger a little bit, isn't it? And we have loads of anti-hunger tactics and tools, don't we? Like you said, mindset ones, protein intake ones, food quality ones, intermittent fasting, meal frequency, meal timings, hydration levels,
all sorts of
food
tools.
volume. We learn about a million different things to keep hunger to a minimum on the fat loss program, don't we?
But also to be able to recognise it as a more less of a scary thing,
Yes.
and more of a kind of, well, it's natural actually for people to feel hungry at some point in the day. What's not natural is filling your belly all day so you never feel that sensation.
Yes, that's true.
Which is what I would have done.
That's true.
I would have
yeah.
woke up in the morning, had something to feel full, and then by 10 o'clock, oh, I'm a bit peckish. What shall I have there?
But it's not really being peckish, is it? It's
No.
just it's not that the stomach's got nothing in it.
No.
It's that it's no longer full.
Full.
So you've gone from feeling full to feeling just. You're not hungry.
No.
But there's room.
Oh, I could just
There's
eat.
room.
Yeah.
Room's being
it's
created.
starting to niggle.
Yeah, there's room. So we'll refill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then lunchtime comes, you're here, let's have some more free food.
Yeah. Free food. Yeah.
You know?
What people don't understand about hunger as well, sometimes, I feel, is this sounds maybe crazy to some people at first, but if you're hungry, that's not necessarily because you need food. You know? No. It's literally, it's not, is it?
Not.
You know, if you've got body
now,
fat.
if you'd have told me that in the beginning, I would have slapped you silly.
I understand. This is why I said it sounds crazy. Because people think, oh, I'm hungry, I need to eat.
Yes.
It's not true.
No.
It's just because your stomach is it's like a hole inside you. That's not even where you're absorbing food from.
No.
That's the digestive sort of organ. It's not you don't absorb most of your food through that. You absorb it through the intestines after. So you could have lots of food digesting in your intestines and be absorbing calories right now, but just have none specifically being melted by the stomach.
Yes.
So, you know, you can also have if you've got body fat to lose, that is food.
I always
literally.
think about, you know, if you once said, if you're feeling hungry, remember you're burning the body fat, you
It's
know,
true,
in one of the lectures.
isn't it?
You know, there are little things that even now, 4 years on, I still use in my mind to kind of keep it, because you're always going to eat. I'm always going to I'm designed naturally from the caveman days, as you've discussed in your lectures before, you know, evolution's not caught up with environment and all that kind of thing. I will always naturally tend to go towards overeating if I don't make conscious efforts.
Yes.
And
Most
I'm not
people
saying
are the
it's
same.
a chore, or, you know, life's too short and just eat the cake and all that kind of stuff. I eat cake.
I do.
I eat pizza, I eat
Yes.
chips. I just choose it when I want to eat those things.
Yeah.
Without sacrificing the positive gains that I've got now. You know, that the positive gains far outweigh the saying of, and it is just a saying, it's an excuse really for people to feel better about a bad lifestyle choice. It's brutal, but it's true.
Okay, what are you referring to exactly?
You know, like people, because the effort of losing weight is a big effort.
Yes.
It's too much for some people.
Okay, yes.
And so the excuse is, well, life's too short.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know what the excuse you were referring to was. Life's too short.
Life's
Yes.
too short, just eat the cake.
Yes. Life will be short if you just eat all the cake.
Indeed.
So then you'll fulfill your own prophecy there.
Indeed.
'Cause
And today of all days is as a prime example of that. You know, it being my mum's 70th birthday.
Yes.
Would have been. Dying the day after her birthday, 8 years ago.
Yes.
Type 2 diabetic.
Yes.
Completely overweight.
Yes.
Arthritis and all sorts of health problems.
Yes.
A lot of it genetic.
Yes.
But we don't have to be a slave to our genes.
No, it's true.
We don't have to be a part of that cycle
Yes.
whereby I am fat and I can't do anything about it.
Yes, it's not true. That's disempowering.
This is the way I'm made.
Yes.
And so life's too short to try.
Well, science shows that obesity is 50% genetic and 50% choice/environment.
Had a poor relationship with food.
Yeah.
Had a
So
terrible.
it's partly your genetic setup, your metabolism not being the best, a bit prone to diabetes
yes,
and arthritis, but
yes.
it's also, like you say, in the poor
I
relationship
can't
with
do
food.
anything about the genes that I was born with.
No, that's true.
But I can give it a good
You don't
run
have to
for
play
its.
into them.
No,
You can fight
give it
against them.
I could give it a good run for its money.
Yeah, definitely.
And you know, I know then, whatever happens is not down to the choices that
Yes.
I've made.
Yes.
That is
At that
out
point,
of my
it's
hand.
It's what you did your best. It's whatever will be, will be.
Indeed.
I agree.
You know, and that's it. That's all that there is to it. But you know, you either want to, or you don't. You know, you either want it for yourself and your family, or for whatever reason, write them down. What are your reasons for wanting to lose weight, be slimmer, be healthier? What are they? And then don't mess about with it. You either do it or you don't. But then don't make excuses for it. You know, life's too short. I haven't got enough time. You know, I'm too busy. Really? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But it's not really. those aren't the reasons why you're not doing it. You just don't want to.
I understand.
Is that harsh?
No.
That's harsh, isn't it? That would have been me, you know. Life's too short, eat the cake.
Well, we'll continue talking about it in a second. I just wanted to say first that there's a guy, the leading aging specialist from Harvard. He's called Dr. David Sinclair, and he says that health is 20% genetic and 80% choices and actions. That's the leading scientist at Harvard. Your genetics can be screwed, but if you do all the right things, you'll still probably live really quite healthy and well if you do all the right things. If your genetics are amazing, but you do all the wrong things, it still won't go well. No. It most likely won't go well. So we can have really big impacts into it.
I take a lot of inspiration as well from the others in the group. There is a lady in there, and I remember in the early days of her joining, and she never had an issue with the way that she looked, and that was great. I was really admiring it because I hated the way I looked. I hated the way that my clothes looked, the way I felt, and she was really confident, but she always said that she wanted to lose the weight for her family, and she wanted to be more active with her family. And her and another member have just cycled 100 miles all over the place. And I just think, how wonderful is that? You know, that you've seen that through. It's great. And now look, enjoying life, people enjoying life. You know, they've escaped their own misery. That's what it is. You don't do it for us. You're here. You say, I'm here. I'll help. I'll support. I'll guide. I'll teach. I'll show.
There are some people I would do it for them if I could, but I can't.
But at the end of the day, you have to want and do it for yourself.
I only point, I show the path, but you have to walk it.
Indeed. I first met you and I didn't know how to set a goal.
True.
I'd been doing Slimming World for years.
Yeah.
No idea how to set a goal. What will be my goal, Connor? You know, track your calories, track your food. For this week, track your food. Know what you're eating and how many calories you're eating and understand where this overeating,
and
where is it coming?
That was it, wasn't it? That was just the first basic goal. Just try and understand what's happening with
no
the food.
pressure.
Let's look at it.
Don't worry about being over or under or being on or off or, you know.
No real calorie goals or anything. Just look at it.
Just look at your food, at what you're eating, and boom, the rice. The rice. And you know, it doesn't matter how many new members you get, there is always a post from a new member about the rice.
You're right.
It is rice or pasta.
Yeah, with the amount of calories it costs.
Rice or pasta.
Breakfast cereals sometimes as well.
Cooked, uncooked. The rice, the pasta, cooked, uncooked, the calories, you know. It's amazing. It's amazing what you learn in that first week. It's a shock.
That's why we do the food diary though. It's not because calorie counting. No. It's for food education.
I was easily double, if not triple, my calorie amount.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what calories I were eating until I started tracking that first week.
Yeah.
And I messaged you and I knew from what I tracked that week that I was easily at least double the amount of calories.
And if you don't mind me saying, you cried, didn't you?
I did, third day, and I cried.
You were upset about this,
I was really hungry. I'd finished work one day and I wanted to make chili and rice. And at one time, the rice would have gone from a coffee mug into a pan.
Yeah.
Free food.
Yeah.
Fill your boots. And I was weighing this rice.
Yeah.
And I was just like mortified at the serving size of this uncooked rice. But not only that, because I was weighing everything and tracking for the first few days, I couldn't fathom out the calorie amount.
Yeah.
And I got such a pickle about it. I just wanted to eat. I just wanted to come in and eat. And bless the group. I posted it. I got an answer. I cooked. I had a bath. I checked in with you.
I remember.
Everything was fine because you'll always get a reply from the group, although you can message you any day of the week, at any time, and you will always answer, but you're likely to get an answer sooner from the group.
Yeah, exactly.
And somebody will always always answer you.
Pretty much, isn't it?
Doesn't matter what the question.
Yeah.
Nobody will ever make you feel like a fool. Nobody will ever belittle or embarrass you. They will always answer honestly with the knowledge they have. And if they're wrong, you will explain it.
Yeah.
But they very rarely are.
No,
They aren't.
because most people don't comment unless they know the answer, really. Most people don't just chat shit.
And some people are just
putting
waiting
random things.
for somebody to ask that question.
Yeah, for sure. There's always people just scrolling Facebook, isn't it? And then somebody puts a nice little question, and then it's fulfilling for our members to be able to help another newer member, and it solidifies their information.
We remember how it feels.
Yeah, and it solidifies their own information. It gives them a little booster of I actually know something, and it helps them progress forward as well by doing that. I completely agree.
I just think there would be no other way now for me. That's it. And of course, when it came to my half marathon, I had to know that my food and my nutrition was going to be right. And so I asked you. I knew what you were going to tell me was right. I trusted you completely.
I appreciate that.
Very early on, I knew with the group that it was going to be life-changing, and it has been life-changing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No going back. There isn't any going back. And why would you want to? Why would I want to? Apart from the pleasure of the eating of those foods, which, when you understand it, is a bit of a false truth, because really the sensation is only there for seconds.
A tiny bit. Yeah. Do you feel like though as well, maybe, now you eat slightly less pleasure foods, you might actually appreciate it more, because now you don't feel guilty about them either.
I don't.
So there's no negativity surrounded around it.
They don't feel bad.
You get used to it, don't you, as well? You know, all the junk food, you get used to it and it becomes normal. It's not exactly pleasure food after it, because if it's every day all the time, it's not really pleasure food. It's just your normal food at that point,
normal,
isn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like anyway, it's maybe slightly dichotomous, but if you control it slightly in a way, the restriction kind of gives a little bit more pleasure.
Rise to the pleasure.
Yeah, like, because I don't eat chocolate every day. When I do eat chocolate, I'm like, ooh,
it's nice.
Ooh, and I appreciate it.
Yes.
Because I'm not out at restaurants every day.
I'm like that with Doritos. I'm a savoury. The Doritos. And people know, they'll know in my house now, don't start bringing in big bags of stuff or fruit and nuts and chocolate and savoury stuff, because I'm going to eat it.
Yeah.
I am. I'm going to eat it.
Yeah, I would.
Now, I might not eat it in one go, but it's going to go. That's it. So don't bring it into my house. Don't.
It's good control of the food environment against the mindful eating.
It really is. And I don't mind some of it. I mean, like, my other half, he loves choc ices. Could take them or leave them. Don't mind them being in the freezer.
Okay, I
all day
understand.
long. Because they'll never speak to me. They'll never speak to me from the freezer.
Yeah.
Now, if my son brings home Doritos and they're in the cupboard, they'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
come eat me.
Yeah, that's me too. I've got some digestive biscuits in the cupboard, but I don't ever eat them. I don't really
Take
care
them or
about
leave
them.
them.
Yeah, it's just occasionally I like to make cheesecakes in different ways, so I've just got digestive biscuits in sometimes.
Yeah.
But I don't eat them. But if there was chocolate in the cupboard,
And it's
I'd
really
be munching
strange
it.
because if something remains unopened, it doesn't speak to me.
Speaks to you less, does it? Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's like, if it's not opened, once it's opened, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Have a taste and then you know. In fact, sometimes I'll have a taste and I'll say, the pleasure is only for as long as it lasts on the tongue. And I do, I tell myself these things I've learned, I tell myself, and I actively then choose to put them away. Do you know, it's like, do I want to be fat or do I want to be slim? I go shopping. Why have the argument with yourself by visiting the chocolate or the crisp aisle? Do I need anything off there? No. Do I want to be fat or do I want to be slim?
So this is what you're thinking about?
All the time.
Is it really?
Yeah.
This is powerful.
Oh, no, yeah.
Wow.
All the time. I recognise I have cravings, right? Do I want to fulfill that need for satisfying the itch?
Yeah.
Where am I at? Have I had a lot of have I been maintenance and above for the last month or so? Where am I at? Do I want to be fat or do I want to be slim?
You're getting to a very good level with this mindful eating if you're at that position, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
there's some. I just say to myself, I'm not going to argue with myself over this. It's not debatable. It's like being with a toddler. You know, it's not
Yes.
debatable. I don't want to be fat,
Yes.
so I'm not going to that aisle and I'm not buying this.
Yes.
I want it to swear.
You can swear.
I didn't want to buy this shit
Yeah.
because that's what it is.
Yeah.
I will choose when I want to have some of it.
Yes.
In a controlled way,
Yeah.
at my own choosing.
Yeah.
Not because I've got raging hormones or I'm kind of angry or frustrated or, you know, screw it or anything like that. I don't want to be fat. Bottom line, I don't want to go back there. I want to be slim for another 4 years and another 4 years. I don't want to go back to feeling how I did and self-harming with food like I did.
Yeah, this
Sorry.
This is very powerful mindful
Sorry.
eating. It's really good.
It's just, you know, you look at it.
It's you doing the pros and cons,
You know what?
positives and negatives.
You might need to edit this out, but I'm going to say this. You become very aware of other people in supermarkets and out and about, and you realise and you think, oh my, because there is certain people that literally need the trolleys to prop themselves up. Have you ever been behind them, Connor?
What do you mean?
Literally, arms over the trolley, like a Zimmer frame.
I guess so, yeah.
Have you seen them?
I guess so. People
you just
using
think-
support from the trolley. I guess so, yeah.
And I just think, and you look what's in there, and then you think it sounds really awful because I was like that. I'm not kind of.
Yeah, you see it from both perspectives because you
I'm
used
not
to use a
preaching,
wheelchair,
and
didn't you?
I used to use a wheelchair.
Exactly. So you needed.
I was
propping up too.
unhealthy. I was unfit. I was overweight. I couldn't move. I couldn't walk. I had years of not being able to walk properly without severe pain. A lot of drugs. Went through a phase of being adrenal insufficient through the treatment I had for my back. That wasn't very unpleasant, you know. But I just think when you go around the supermarket and you see people struggling, it makes you even more kind of in your mind think, I don't need that because this is what I will become.
I understand. It's what you've gotten away from, isn't it? Like you said,
Yeah.
you escaped from your own pain, and now it's good for you to keep that in mind that you don't
It's
want
not
to go back there.
always perfect. There's still there's still
yeah.
lessons, but I don't feel a failure by the lessons I have to learn.
But these are all just little extra bits of mindfulness that are helping you. Like I really like how you toss it up between, do you want to, because I do the same thing. This is the exact same for me, and it really does free you from the attachment to food. Like obviously we all love junk food. You love junk food. I love junk food, of course. When I see cake, I understand that's going to taste really nice if I put it into my mouth. I understand. But I still feel like you every single time I'm weighing up junk food and or high calorie food or whatever we want to call it, and whether I'm going to eat it, I'm deciding, is that worth gaining body fat for?
At this time.
Yeah, right now, yeah. And sometimes yes, sometimes it is yes. Earlier this week, I ate a cookie dough for my birthday.
Why not?
Yeah, I thought yes, good, definitely.
Why not?
But today, no junk food. Yesterday, no junk food. Tomorrow, probably no junk food. I'm going to decide no for a good couple of days, literally. And will there be opportunities to eat junk food? Thousands. Every supermarket I go into, every place I walk by, every cafe you walk past, cakes in the window, 1 million opportunities, of course, but I just choose no.
Choose.
Yeah.
And also it's the...
Or sometimes, I'm not even choosing no. Sometimes it's like what you said earlier. Sometimes it's not an option for me.
No.
It's like if somebody said to me, do you want a cigarette? I just say, no, I'm okay, thank you, I don't smoke.
No.
To me, sometimes I eat junk food like a social smoker. Like sometimes I'll go, fuck it, yeah, I'll have one.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I don't smoke. Most of the time, I don't eat junk food. I don't eat stuff like that. But, sometimes I'm like...
And it's not a self-righteous thing.
I'm
It's not like you're saying, oh, I'm better than you because I don't do that.
No,
it's not like
got
that
nothing to do
at
with
all.
anybody else.
No.
These are my
It's a
goals for me. It's
personal
my health. It's
choice.
me.
Personal choice.
I've done it just like you have. I've eaten all the crap.
Yeah.
I've done the thing. Just like listeners at home, just like everybody who joins my program, basically, we've all tried the theory of, I don't care and I'm going to eat whatever and I'll be happy. I don't give a shit about this. I'll just eat whatever and it'll be flipping great. We've all tried that and we found it to be false.
Yeah.
Some people might find that true. Some people might eat whatever they want and they might love it. They might have a great time. That, in which case, of course, go for it. Yep, continue. I've tried that though, and I know if I eat whatever I want, if I just everything I fancy, I think fuck it, yeah, I'll eat it. I start to feel very poor very fast. My health starts to suffer. My skin starts to suffer. My self-esteem starts to suffer. For me, I like to keep myself slim for me. If I start putting on body fat, which I do, because I sometimes eat too much as well, like everybody else, it damages my self-esteem and my feelings of me and my own self-worth. It's got nothing to do with anybody else.
I just, things have just got better over time. Do you know? It's just like, it's just got better over time.
Yeah, because it's taken 4 years of us talking, ups and downs, checking in.
It's actually not that long, really, in grand scheme of things,
I love that you say that. I love that you say that because no, it's not. It's not. In terms of healthy eating, I see you as a 4-year-old.
It's like...
You're still a baby, you're just starting.
Indeed. I did 12 years of Slimming World.
Yeah. So you were getting on at Slimming World, but now we've restarted.
And it's
you're just a 4-year-old,
I'm like, crikey. No going back.
Yeah. And
it's great.
It does get easier and easier the more years you do it, because you do get more mindful, you get more under control. With these correct practices
it's more
like we're
comfortable.
doing. You get used to it,
and
build new
the
habits.
Family then, at first when you start a diet and everybody thinks, oh, they're on a new diet, let's see how long this one lasts, let's see how much weight they regain, and very cynical and very kind of doubtful, and then all of a sudden they completely understand where your goals are. And if you say no to something, go on, you've been really good, treat yourself, you deserve it, you've been really good, you've worked really hard, you treat yourself. Well, actually, I'd rather have it 3 or 4 weeks down the line once. Like for me, it was my half marathon.
Yeah.
I will have, my reward will come by feeling good when I've run my half marathon. And afterwards, I will partake in one of these treat meals, but not to satisfy your need to look after me or to kind of make me feel good or to treat me or to say, this is your reward. My reward is finishing the half marathon and feeling great and healthy and happy. That's my reward. I don't need, and it's not junk food, it's not rubbish food, it's beautiful food. But that's the problem. It's beautiful food.
I understand.
And, and it's made with love and care and the need to nurture people and look after people. My family, my entire family are like that. We were raised like that. You love with food. Yeah. Somebody you will love. We bake, we buy, we provide. Yeah. We love these people, And
again, it's a normal thing for people in general, isn't
that's
it?
That's how we are.
Food's a social thing, yeah. We've been sharing food and eating around campfires for longer than we've had writing or even like cities or towns. But it's always been the case.
But the longer you're doing it, the more they realise that actually you're really committed to your it's a commitment to yourself.
Yeah, people get used to it. They change too. People get used to it. It's hard for you to change, isn't it, to do your own changes, and then it does take a while for other people to catch up to. Like when I was in university, I used to drink a lot, like you do at university, and then after like 2 years of drinking a lot, I decided I'm not drinking anymore. And then all my friends used to say, "What? You're boring. You never come out. What? Why are you doing this? Just have one. What will one do? One's fine." I'd say, "No, I'm all right, thank you. No, I'm all right, thank you." And it took like 2 years for him to stop bugging me about it, my friends, for him to stop saying, "What? You're so boring. Why?" Eventually, they just accepted that I just was someone that didn't drink, and then they just kind of got used to it, and they realised I didn't care if they drink. I'm not judging them.
Now. It's if I say no, I'm all right. I'm going to have such and such for this meal. That's fine. They know now.
Yeah. Yeah, because they understand your happiness. Because people automatically assume that, like if somebody says, "Oh, do you want to get a takeaway?" and you say, "No, I'm all right, thanks." They're thinking, "Oh, do you want some like fun? Some like I'm trying to offer you something that
It's
you're going to
good.
enjoy.
You're
That's
gonna
going to make you
enjoy.
happy."
It's gonna make you happy.
But if your family understands that eating too many takeaways doesn't make you happy, that's really great, isn't it? This is when
It is, and it's. I think as well, seeing how far I've come has reinforced that. Seeing how far and what I've achieved.
one of the things I'm most amazed with is how healthy you look. Like you said, your weight's not changed over the last period of time that much.
And you know what? It don't bother me. It
No,
really
you
don't bother.
You don't need to be slimmer than you are now.
No.
You could be if you wanted to. Everybody could be if they wanted to. Everybody could lose some, couldn't they? Nearly everybody on earth, except if you're a flipping, I don't know, bodybuilder or something with actually like 8-pack.
Yeah.
But you actually don't need to lose any more weight. No, but I've still noticed over time. Maybe it's your exercise, maybe it's just the continuation of the healthy eating, maybe it's just the body settling down more to your new sort of size and health position, etc.
I just sleep better. I move better.
You just look great, I think.
I rest. I sleep wonderful because the level of activity I've got.
How good's exercise for sleep?
Isn't
it?
If you'd have said to me, look, 4 years ago, you're going to be going to the gym 2 to 3 times a week. You're going to have a PT and you're going to be walking loads and then you're going to start running. And I said, you're laughing, mate. I'm not doing none of that.
You'd have thought I was crazy. And
I said, forget it. I'm not in for any of that caper.
I understand.
But then all of a sudden, what you're doing isn't enough.
Yeah.
You kind of want more. I never set out with the intention of wanting to exercise.
Yeah.
But where I worked, I needed to park further away. Now, walking used to be a chore. And then you kind of 3-4 months in, you think, actually, I feel a bit better now. And it's not so bad walking up the hills of Broome Hill.
Yeah.
And then you go for a walk at lunchtime. And then you walk the dog in the evening. And then you think, I'm going to start tracking my steps, find out what I'm doing here. Because you realise that your exercise isn't your main fat loss, your calories are, and you're kind of in control of them. So let's see what else is coming. And this is starting to get easier, moving and walking is a bit easier. And then all of a sudden, walking wasn't enough. There was more energy. And I was one of the walks, we went down Flask. And I was speaking to somebody else and she was already running. And I was like, it's just not enough. The walking isn't enough. There is more movement in me.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew some of the others were doing park run. And I was like, I want to try the park run, but I'm scared. I'm frightened of doing park run, trying to run. Breathlessness, Christ, that dreaded word of, it's like calorie counting, breathlessness, cold sweat.
Negative buzzwords.
Breathlessness and running. You wouldn't have caught me running for a bus. I would have said, I'll catch the next one, bye-bye, And then I remember one of the members, I'll never forget it, and I'm entirely, completely grateful to her. She used to go to a different park run and she offered for her and her husband to come and purposely meet me at my local park run to help me. And this is what I found. You have a goal and you don't know where to start. People are always happy to help you.
Oh, nice.
They are. If you're willing to ask and say, look, how do I go about this? If somebody knows, they will help you.
Yeah.
They will guide you. And she came, she loaned me a belt, and there was another member surprised me. And they were both better runners than me. But park run was wonderful. That first park run was wonderful because there was no pressure, a bit like you, no pressure to do anything or achieve. It wasn't a race. It was something to try for myself. And I had 2 friends. Like with the group, it was a safe place. It was a safe, comfortable place where I could be myself. And that's what you've got in the group. It's a safe place where you can be yourself, warts and all.
Again, it seems scarier than it is, doesn't it, parkrun? Loads of people just walk.
Yeah, they do.
No one cares. No one's
No.
looking at you. No one even knows you're there. No one cares. No one
You're
cares
just
about any
another-
of it.
you know,
There's people in the park who are not even in the parkrun. Isn't there? There's people walking the other way. No one even. No, if you even stopped and turned around and walked home, nobody would say anything.
Do you
or
know,
notice.
people are always celebrating your achievement, no matter what the achievement. They, you know, and as I started going to parkrun, you might be some of the very last people, and some others might have finished, but you'll always get a cheer on, a keep going, or well done, and it's like that within the group as well. You know, it doesn't matter what your goal is, as long as somebody is trying, you will always get the encouragement and support from the right people. From the right people, and the people that matter, actually. I've found that a lot, you know. There are people out there who are willing to help.
That's really nice. I loved what you said about your exercise potential and energy increasing. It's like when we first met, and if you thought about going to the gym or running, you thought it was crazy because you actually you couldn't do that then. It was too far from where you were. It would have been crazy to think that.
What?
But then after you'd lost a bit of weight and then you could walk better, then a bit of walking doesn't seem crazy anymore. It seems actually manageable because you've took a few steps forward. Then, like you said, a bit more walking. Then after you can walk a decent length, you think, I wonder if I could go faster. You know, and it just steadily, step by step, doesn't it?
It's being easy with yourself and kind with yourself, and not doing too much all at once.
Building into it nice and steady.
Building into it, yeah. And actually not having any kind of expectation of where you might be next year.
No, because
But
this is
just
this is
seeing,
fake predictions of the future
you
anyway,
know,
isn't it? You're just making things up.
Just seeing where the next step takes you. You know, I saw somebody posted, she'd been using the PT that I use. Fabulous Emma, wonderful Emma. I'm going to big up the Emma Stew.
Emma Stewart, yes. If anybody's looking for it, wait, I'm going to do a shout out.
Go on, you've got
If
to.
anybody's looking for an excellent personal trainer, she's at Kellam Island, the gym group.
The gym group.
In Sheffield, Kellam Island, the gym group.
And one of her clients.
Email emmastewartcoaching@gmail.com.
Wow. Indeed. She's on Insta as well.
Yeah, Emma Stewart, STEWART, emmastewartcoaching@gmail.com.
Honestly, you would never look back. I have never looked back in the same way I've never looked back with you. That she had a client posted an unassisted pull-up.
Yeah.
And I was
A
like,
female client doing a pull-up, yes.
an unassisted pull-up.
Yeah.
Not one,
Yeah.
multiple.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to do that. And it was just like that. It was just like, I want to do that. It wasn't like, oh, I want to go to gym and I've got to get fit and I've got to get strong. I just simply went, I want to do that. I want to be able to do that.
Lots of women like the idea of that. Lots of ladies and press-ups.
You
Lots of ladies
know,
like the idea.
I was like, you know, it's one of those jobs where you're getting out of a pool and you've got to cut your leg over the side and do a kind of roll just to get out of the pool. You know, like, and to be able to pull your body up, amazing. And so I booked to be with her. Honestly, I was like, I want to do that, and this is the lady that's going to help me do it. Like, I want to lose fat, and this is a man that's going to help me do it.
Yeah.
You know, this is the group that's going to help me do it.
Yeah.
I want to run a half marathon, and these are the people that are going to help me do it.
Shout out to Ching and Simon Lau.
So,
Team running.
and not only that, Greg, because I had to
Greg
go.
Roberts from White House Physios.
Indeed, you know, he gave me.
Shout out to White House Physiotherapy Clinic in Sheffield.
Honestly,
The great and powerful.
Sound. It's been like, and you said it. It's like I got a little
Got a team. Got a full team going.
But you know what? I knew to go to,
Yeah.
and if I didn't know, somebody would.
Yeah.
Somebody knew who I could go to help me achieve my goal.
Yeah, because you met all these people through referral through other people, essentially, didn't you?
You know, and the gym has been, although I'm still not made for exercise, I still kind of, like most people would say, it's a bit of a chore.
Yeah. I think it's a chore.
But
And I'm a professional.
I like the feeling of doing something, not only that other people would expect me not to do, but the fact that I'm doing stuff for myself, for the benefit of myself and my family, and just to see what am I capable of? What can I do?
Tell me what you can do then. What
can I do? I could run a half marathon, Connor, didn't you know?
I know about that one full well. I do know about that one. I meant, what do you know any of the weights that you can lift? Do you know any some?
Yeah, but they're still baby ones, aren't they?
What can you do? What's some weights you can do?
I can do, and do you know what? I couldn't have done it without her. I really couldn't, because when I first started with Emma, it was a once a week job.
Yeah.
Right? That was all I was capable of.
Yeah.
Don't push me to do any more. Don't ask anything. And she didn't. She knew exactly. She's never not known what I've needed.
Yeah.
Good days, bad days, strong days, weak days.
Yeah.
Whether it be once a week, twice a week, whatever. And for ages it was once a week because that's all I could manage.
Yeah.
And then it would be twice a week until I got into the habit of getting myself to the gym for that second session. And then that would become a solo session, twice a week. Nothing more, nothing less. This is what we're doing. Building. And then you start getting stronger and you think, oh, I quite like this. And you quite like the fact that you've got a really strong PT who looks very feminine with no judgment in her at all about your ability. At all. Like you had no judgment in you about dealing with a fat person.
Okay.
Do you know? This is you and this is where you're at, and we'll take it at whatever speed, but I'm still going to push you a little bit. I'm still going to make you work a little bit, and this is the work you're going to have to do for yourself to achieve this, you know? And every week she's had more faith in me at times, a lot of the time, than I've had in myself. You know, the weights. Who'd have thought bench pressing a 40 kg barbell?
You're on 40?
40.
This is what I meant. I wanted to know some weights you could do.
On
That's
my back.
amazing.
And I mean,
amazing. Well done.
It's not a massive weight, but I can squat a good. I can't remember what I can squat now.
On a bench press, though, you know, untrained ladies would do more like 10 kg. So you're now 4 times stronger.
And when I first went,
like
and it was a
lady.
4 kilogram barbell, you know, dumbbell
above
lift, you know, and you're like
trying to get it above your head.
And now I'm like that with a 10.
Yes, powerful. 10s on dumbbells.
But I still need to get to that magic 15 because I'm not quite there.
Amazing.
But I know I will be.
Amazing. If you keep pushing
I know that I will be. And I know that I will be because she'll not... We do it right.
Yeah.
We do it right.
Nice, steady little
And she'll never make me... And she said this herself. And I know it before she even said it. She would never make me do anything she wouldn't do herself.
Yes.
You know, and without her, I would have... Like without you, I wouldn't be achieving the things that I'm achieving now.
That's absolutely amazing. Really
and truly. I would never have dreamt in a million years that this is where I would be. I've got some lovely friends, supportive friends. You know, I've had wonderful help with my running training. I have, you know, and they've shown equal commitment to me. How wonderful is that?
Yeah.
How lovely is that they've shown a commitment.
Ching didn't run the half marathon, did she?
No, but
she just did all the training with you.
She did.
She did it all?
For a year.
And she didn't like it?
No, not at all.
She did not like it.
But for every weekend, every Saturday, including Boxing Day.
Oh.
And including in the rain and the snow and the ice.
Powerful friends.
Every Saturday we ran for nearly a full year. Mm-hmm. You know, now... I have an admission to make, is the fact that it's kind of Ching's fault that I ran the half marathon. Because it said that I had it in my mind, you know when you chat with somebody, I want to run the Great North Run. It's one of them iconic races, isn't it, all across the time. It's like the London Marathon. I want to run the Great North Run. And of course, I was like, I'd said it to Ching. Not just like to anybody. And then, of course, you've got to start following through on this stuff.
You can't just be talking now.
No.
Can't just be saying things,
No.
Lucille.
And then before you know it, you're signing up.
Oh my lord.
And you're actually doing it
Uh-oh.
because you don't want to lose face.
Oh.
Innit? Innit? Indeed.
Amazing.
It's true. But I'm so glad I did, because I did want to run the half marathon. I did want to run the Great North Run. And I could have kept that to myself and thought, oh, I really wish I'd have done it now. But instead, I did it. And it was a big lesson. All of that running was a big lesson, because she was a much better runner than me. Yes, she's a really good runner. And I know it's been frustrating at times. But so thankful. And again, you got a goal, you find the people who can help you.
Oh, so nice.
Innit?
Yes.
And I didn't realise that, you know, I didn't realise that, you know, you don't have to struggle on your own. You don't have to flounder and try and find your way on your own. There are people who are willing to support you if they know that you want it and are willing to work for it. If you're willing to do the training and get up at 5:30, and even, you know, I work full time Monday to Friday, you know, I'm willing to get up at 5:30 in the morning to meet your PT at 7 for a session before work.
Yeah.
Or go running after work, after a full day at work. Or at the weekend when most people would probably be lying in or going to bed late, or, you know, eating a takeaway and watching telly, you're going to bed at a proper time because you're going up, because you're running at 7 o'clock in the morning. Not at 12 and when you've just woke up and you've got a shower, and you're up and you're meeting somebody at 7 and you're running.
Yeah.
And you've planned a route, and this is what we're doing. You know, you're waking up with a purpose. Every day, you have a goal and you have a purpose to your day. That's it. I have a purpose to my day every day. And it isn't just about work or raising Mark. I mean, he's 20 now, and what raising is left, to be honest. But it's, what do I want for myself? How am I going to... And I would never have learnt this without the group. I would never have learnt this without coming to you 4 years ago. Because I couldn't set goals. I didn't know, I couldn't identify what my goals were. And I didn't know how, I couldn't learn how to achieve what I wanted out of life. A lot of procrastinating, you know, a lot of, oh, I can't do that, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of down talk, a lot of negativity, you know. But it's like, this is what I want to do. How do I do it? Who do I go to? How do I achieve it? Oops, there's a slip up. Oops, there's another slip up. There, I've done it. But, you know, it wasn't a perfect half marathon. It wasn't a perfect half run. You know, the last 3 miles were horrendous. But I did it. I got my medal. I got my T-shirt. And, you know, tomorrow I'm running the Sheffield 10K. Tomorrow. I'm running a 10K.
Easy for you, 10K.
You know, and I loved those weekends. I loved those training weekends that we did, those runs.
Even despite the pain.
Even despite the pain.
And they were at 5:30.
Yeah.
And the torture.
Yeah.
In
And
the
you
rain.
know, it's like, but you know, like,
So you're a tough person if you can do that, you know.
you know, it's like, look at what I would say to myself, if I would say, you know, look at what I am doing. I can. And I will.
You've gone from crying about reducing rice portions to running a half marathon in the rain.
Rice.
How strong have you become?
You know?
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Step by step by
But
step.
you know what's even better?
You get up at 5:30 to train.
Yeah.
You went from crying about rice.
Yeah. But you know what's
and
even better?
You're crying about being hungry.
Yeah. I've
now you're
learned how
hardcore.
to manage to have rice and not get in a pickle about it.
Yeah. Oh my God, I know. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Eat some rice and not feel bad.
That's
How
it.
dare you?
I know. Pasta.
Oh my God.
No. But do you know
my
what?
God.
If somebody were to say in the group, rice, I would, you know, I've been there. there is no shame in posting and say, I've cried because I was so hungry and I couldn't fathom out the rice. I couldn't fathom out the rice. Because the need to be so perfect, you're riding so much on this something so different that you would never have even contemplated before to work, that you don't want to mess it up. Like, you've obviously messed something up before, but you didn't realise that actually the diet doesn't work because it's not actually a diet, it's just a green light to eat loads of food, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But to, it's been a crazy, this last year, it's been wonderful. You can either choose to do something or choose not to. And both are all right, but then it depends what you want.
Yes.
If you want it, but then you choose not to do anything about it, go tell somebody else.
I'm really proud of you, you know.
But Mark says this, doesn't he?
Your son?
About, no.
Oh, Mark Nixon.
Mark says this.
Mark Nixon, okay, yes.
Yes, about, you've got choices. Where is this heading? Is this what I want?
Yes.
But it's like, if you can't say you can't do it, it's just you don't want to do it at the time. You don't want to do it right now,
Or maybe you do want to, but you can't for some reason, Maybe it's not the right time for everyone.
You've got to believe in yourself. Those lectures with Mark were really important as well. You need to...
Yes, you actually recently messaged him, didn't you?
I did.
Saying you'd like more Mark Nixon and podcasts.
do,
And I messaged him as well saying, yes, do it.
Some of this stuff, even
For
now...
people listening, mental health professional Mark Nixon.
He is, and it's not
Positivity power.
His lectures were amazing, absolutely amazing. And even now, certain things, stay with me.
Pick up 1 or 2, 3 things, don't you? And they just stick in.
They do,
Same for me.
because they work. They help.
Yeah.
And the more they help, the more you use them.
Yeah.
And if you read it, like your lectures are always available to watch.
Mm-hmm.
If there's anything you kind of need to reaffirm, they're there.
Yeah.
You're there.
Mm-hmm.
The group's there. Everything's been good or bad has been valuable, and it's bled into the way that the positive way you think about the food and the diet and yourself has bled into other things that help you manage with other things in life, good or bad, and the understanding of your brain and your body. My body, I understand more now than I've ever done. It's being pushed all the time. It's being pushed in a good way. And I know that, you, Emma, Greg, would never would always say, this is damaging, if it was. Mm-hmm. You would always say, this isn't safe, don't do this, always. And I think if you can trust somebody with your change and your goals, that's what it's important.
I agree. And with how you feel now, don't you just wish that everybody ate healthy and exercised a bit?
Yeah, it's just sometimes you've just not like some women, I wish they could feel the way I felt. I wish some some people feel the way that you did.
Yes, of course.
And know that there are people that are feeling self-loathing, don't want to go out, don't want to socialise, don't want to get dressed up.
I saw a study recently that said 25% of everybody who's overweight says that they go out less.
Indeed.
And due to less confidence. And
filled me with dread. Like, we've got a christening to go to.
So it's reducing your freedom, like you said earlier, if it's got to that point. It's reducing your freedom in life. Yeah. And if you also can't move around the earth very well, like you said, if you're struggling to walk, etc., like you were and like people are, it's reducing your physical freedom on earth. You actually can't do or have access to as many things or places.
I've such a great connection with people now, and the same connection that you can get with any kind of group of people with like-minded interests. So yes. At the moment for me it's running, but you could adapt that to any other activity.
Yeah.
Swimming, yoga, walking, rambling. A like-minded group of people you will always get on with, and they will always help you over the finish line. Always. They'll take you as far as they can, and they'll always help you get there to the end goal. My friends have done that. You've done that. Emma's done that. It's been great.
I've got one last question for you then.
Oh, okay.
I've got one last question for you. And you can say anything you want to this question. There's no right or wrong.
Okay.
If you can, I'd like you to, for people who might have been listening to this,
Yeah.
and they're thinking, oh my God, maybe they're wanting to make a change. It
Yeah.
might not be the same change as you. They might be somewhere completely different and trying to get to somewhere different. But if you just had one piece of advice, maybe it's something that's helped you, maybe it's something that you just think it's the most powerful thing. If you had one piece of advice for people at home who are trying to make a change.
The fear is a trick.
Oh, that's a powerful one.
Fear is a trick
That's
that
a
your
powerful
brain
one.
is playing on you.
Yeah, because the things we're trying to do, it's all for positivity, isn't it?
It is. If you can get past the fear of whatever it is that's stopping you, you'll never look back.
And I made a post on Facebook recently saying this, that I'm proud of everybody who reaches out to speak to me, because I understand it's difficult to do. But it's not as scary as they think it's going to be, because what am I going to do? Bite them? All we're going to do is talk about if we could make some healthy eating changes or not. And if you think that we can't, I'm not going to force you.
No.
You don't have to.
It's always at your own pace.
Our program is, yeah, definitely. We just, yeah, and people can start in many different places, go at their own pace. I don't force things on people, etc. It's a lot worse in imagination than it is in reality to people.
I mean, I
don't blame them.
No.
Because of past experiences with diets, etc. I don't blame them.
Oh, gosh.
But you can't always, you should learn from your past experiences, and you should let the past influence your future decisions. That's correct, logical and rational thinking. But also, if you're going somewhere to do something different, like if we're doing it a different way this time, you also can't too much let past impressions. You've got to try, like you said, all that dieting past baggage that you brought. You've got to try and...
You are not a victim. That's, I am not. I could be still wrapped up in the fact that I couldn't walk very well, and that I'm overweight, and that, all this and that. I acknowledge that this is where I was. It's not where I am now. But you can either slave yourself to your past, can't you? You can either let that define you of who you are. He said that the first thing, he got those little sheets, first thing he said, you are not a victim. Okay, mate. That's told me then. But it's true. You can make the change if you stop feeling frightened. Innit?
Innit, mate. That's the best summary ever. You can make you're a motivational speaker, and then you just conclude it with innit.
I mean, it's that cheesy saying, it feel the fear and do it anyway. It's a cheesy saying, but actually it's quite true.
It's what bravery is. Bravery is not the absence of fear. Sometimes the absence of fear is stupidity. Bravery is feeling the fear and doing it anyway. You've just got to
jump off the diving board.
Or sometimes it feels like a jump, but you actually find out it's just a tiny step. Yeah,
it's just a little step.
You think you're on a diving board, but you're actually just on a low curve.
With snot and tears in between.
It looks a lot further on the way down than it is.
Yeah.
It's actually a step up, if anything, and it feels good once you take it.
It's great. And I know that there are others, and I know that there are others in this group that feel this same way. How great is that?
There are. It's great for me as well on a personal level, because my life goal was to make a difference in someone's life, And you could be that person to me. Like when I started health and fitness, I thought if I can make a positive change in one person's life, just one person, I don't have too big goals, then I'll feel like I've won and I did something. Even if everything else doesn't work out. Before I even became a fitness professional, I thought if I can help one person and they actually change their life, I think that'll be amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah. But it's thanks to you. You did it.
You helped with the hard work we do together amongst each other, but you have to commit to yourself, don't you?
Thanks for coming in and speaking to
Thank
me
you.
today. I really appreciate it.
It's all right. I waffled a load of shite, but
You didn't whatsoever. Thank you for listening as well, ladies and gentlemen. We'll speak to you and we'll see you again soon.